steadily more obese during these WilMaccas.
I have not.
Yes, that's true. You've sent all your weight to me.
There's a nice wee spot. Can you tie this one to the radio, to the steering wheel?
Possibly. Right this way?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just looks like we're ultimate perverts and then the Asda carpet. You know, phones out. Well, you don't have to twist them around, just like they bend it every fucking...
Really?
It's too hot.
I was trying to stay on that. Is it? Oh, it is.
How would you fucking shut away massive side of your hole or something?
That's so fat looking.
Whatever. Why don't you tell them the big news then, since we haven't been around for 6 months?
Huh?
Why don't you tell them the big news?
What big news?
That you're now got 2 jobs
Oh, talking ahead.
and you're working for the most evil empire, or the evil imperial industry you could possibly get.
Oh yes, that's right. I've got a second job now, working in the gambling profession.
It's glam bling, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Because now
shit,
you get
that's all you eat.
now you get that free coffee, Macca. You know, you get a free hot chocolate, free coffee when you go in and spend like hundreds of pounds making bets. You know.
You get free coffee.
Mm-hmm. You know, like the drink, it's spelled the same.
Well, that looked close up, hurry.
That's the last thing people need of me.
Well, that one's probably the better one. Probably direct ourselves towards that one, should we? Go on, stop it.
Right, that's the other moves on back.
So where are we then, Mother?
We are currently in.
Geography, man.
What do you know what town I'm in?
Probably Litany. I don't know. I'm sure somebody could inform me.
Yes. You should get Malik McNamee to find out for you.
Well, I'll probably
Also available on New Ireland TV.
also available on New Ireland. Coming soon on New Ireland TV. Should we do the end or at the start? Well, I haven't edited it yet, so maybe I shouldn't promise this. But I've got a boy called Mickey Sharkey. He's been going around, took me out to the Talmot Road, telling me all about townlands. And there's fucking kilns there.
Oh, is it what, like old kilns for like bronze and stuff?
Well, I don't know. It's just sitting on the side of the road. It's just fucking huge. Like.
Alright, brilliant. Very good.
It's, but what is actually your big news, Wilma?
My big news? Are you on about my impending engagement?
Your engagement's already pended.
Oh yes, that's true. Yes, I got engaged. I caught Susan at an opportune moment where she was distracted. I distracted her by showing her a once-in-a-lifetime view of the waterfall, you know? So she was distracted by the shining water dripping through.
Is that why nobody's seen her for about 6 months?
No, she still was.
Once in a lifetime.
She's still alive. By the way, if anybody wants to go to a place that's nice, waterfall at Largy outside Killybegs. Asked the landowner to walk across. I certainly did.
Did you actually?
No.
Okay. Explain why it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Because, well, it's not once in a lifetime, but it's once every so often. Because you can only get to it when the tide is out.
That's twice a day.
You've basically got, but like, you're not going to go at night time, like, you're not going to go when you can't see it, so that's why we went. So we went on a Saturday in January 22nd. See, I was smart. I planned these things around events that I already know, such as my birthday and all. So therefore, in the future Wilma will not forget such things.
Well, you know, if you're being really fucking efficient with your mnemonics, your numerical mnemonics, you would have got married on the 22nd of February 2022.
Why?
Because 22/2/22.
Oh yes, that's right.
Idiot.
Here you get, as it's saying backwards is frontways and upside down as well.
It's not seen upside down.
It is.
And
On
if you do
digital
it in,
clock.
one of them 8-panel ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the same as the fucking numbers. Those are built on the Aramaic genius of the North Africans who were erased from history.
Mm.
It's,
So, Maya, the thing I want to know, do you believe marriage is a property contract, and you don't like things about property, or?
No, I don't. But go ahead.
That's my news, so very happy. She said yes. The idiot.
It's only because she felt she was in a very dangerous situation. See, the place where he actually engaged to her.
There's one way out, one way in.
It's a tidal cave. So there's a waterfall that falls into the water, and when the tide's out, it's sand. When the tide's in, it's inescapable.
Yeah, you can't
So
get it.
there was an implication there, I believe.
There was slightly, yes. Here, I was very romantic. I brought slur and everything instead of whatever champagne.
Kicking out the big guns. It wasn't even dry January.
That's right.
Just
Yeah, so it was good. So now we're getting married next year sometime. So Macca's told me that he's going to get a second job or a job.
no, I'll be.
They help me save for it.
If I even open the invite to this celebration of property contracts,
I thought the WilMacca was going to cover this live in the chapel during it.
well, you know my opinion on chapels.
I'll do a commentary as she's walking up the aisle for WilMacca.
Yeah, could you?
A second by second rundown of.
Minute by minute.
Yeah, well, it's not going to take her minutes. Well, it might take her minutes. She has asked for somewhere with a very long aisle. I think she really wants to milk the walk, you know?
And you're indulging all this.
Me as well.
Yeah. So
But yeah, that's my news. What about your news? What's your big news since the last time that we were involved in
Well,
such?
let's see. I was double vaxxed and caught COVID, ruining my entire weekend that I'd been planning for months, given all the frustrations of the lockdown and whatnot. That then sort of put me in a funk over Christmas but then also everyone else got fucking COVID as soon as I recovered. So I was the only one fucking ready, willing, and available to drink, and there was nobody else.
Was this in your house or everybody in general?
Everybody, the whole fucking shebang. So then I also had a fucking passport ordeal
The
involving
passport ordeal, I think,
Which-
is ridiculous.
Well, it's now got a new fucking thing. So I've been trying to get this passport since before we recorded Chatting Michael Collins. What was it called? Chatting New Ireland. And so that was May, and then it sent back to me with extra documents in October, like 2 days before the thing was due to arrive. I was okay, fine, I'll send the stuff down. So I sent stuff down, and then they told me it'd be February before they'd process it. And then February the 4th arrived, and then it hadn't came. And I was going to give it a full week before
By
contacting
the way,
them.
just before you go on, February 4th didn't come, even though he had sent us like 5 pictures of the diagram of the passport application, where it's like a wee kind of square and it fills up with green the further it gets. And Mackie kept saying, I think this thing's going backwards.
Yeah,
I think
it
this
was
thing's
going
going
backwards.
It wasn't going backwards.
It was going back. I've got actual proof of going backwards. Like I've got earlier photos that can be meta texturized and verified. But then February 4th, the passport didn't arrive, and I was going to give it a full week. And what happened then was that because it had taken so long since my original application, the whole application timed out entirely, and I had to go back to the fucking start of the whole application. That's to me, as an Irish government, fucking rejecting my citizenship as an Irish person, which I consider to be an abject breach of my human rights under the Human Rights Act 1998.
Well, do you
the
not-
European Convention on Human Rights.
Do you not think that the fact that they're acting as the government for the 32 county Irish Republic to be in a breach of your rights
Well, yes, because I didn't vote for them.
as an Irish citizen?
I didn't vote for them.
Exactly, Mike.
So, yeah. But then, to compound the matter, right, so I'm going up to Donegal, and I'm going to get a Gardaí to sign a photocopy of my last form of photographic ID that I currently have now, which is my UK driver's license, which isn't even complete because I'm going to have to send the paper part down with this passport application.
Right.
But I'm going to take a photocopy of that and get a Gardaí to sign it because the PSNI wouldn't fucking sign it when I brought it round to the PSNI office, even though it says on the document, which I showed them, this can be signed by a solicitor, a police officer, or the person verifying the thing, which I didn't do at the time because I didn't realise I needed to have done that. But the PSNI wouldn't do it. The officer who had met me at the plastic
The
prison,
counter, yeah.
the plastic prison thing, he was ready to go. He was rolling up a stamp with the right date and everything, and then somebody had phoned up from downstairs and told him to stop doing it. And
That's really weird.
yeah. So then you start thinking it's just me that they don't like, because in a moment of panic then following that, I sent back my old UK passport with this express intention of getting a fucking UK passport. I had it by UK recorded mail, so this is new information to yourself.
Yes.
I went and checked the UK passport thing, and they say it hasn't arrived. But I went on the Royal Mail tracking website, and it was been signed for on the 26th of February by Greg.
Okay.
So now, the UK passport office is saying they don't have my fucking passport. So these two fucking nations really don't want me. A nation that does want me, however.
Oh yes, this is good. This is good.
So we have a Facebook page for the New Ireland TV, which you might have seen, you might have been on. Wilma mostly monitors it because I don't really use Facebook, and you sent me a message from somebody, a female journalist, who said that they needed a camera person to go down to Dublin for a specific TV station. Can you remember the name of the TV station? Because I can't.
It was 2 letters, I believe. I can't exactly remember it. CG News or something.
Right. Well, it turned out when I looked into it, it was the Russian internal military channel, as in the equivalent of the British Forces broadcast system. Not Russia Today. I would have done it for Russia Today because that's just a media company. But this was in-house.
This is like the government ran by the army TV station.
Yeah, literally their propaganda.
Yes.
There is literally no other way of saying this. So they were trying to get in contact with me. I refused what would have been the first paid gig I would have had on fucking principle, on fucking
I would not have.
Well, you wouldn't know. But I told my sister to tell the Irish government that that the Russians have been trying to get in contact with people in Ireland, and lo and behold, 2 weeks later they freaking invaded Irish waters with their missile testing. And then, about a month after that, they fucking invaded Ukraine. And it's like, fucking hell, lads. Why does nobody want me as their fucking citizen? It feels like any fucking despot on the planet is ready to fucking kill me.
Yes, I am. So you think that... But what the Russian... Right, but the person, what the Russian channel wanted you to do was go down and interview someone in Dublin.
Yeah. They didn't tell me where or who or for what, but why would the Russian military have any interview to do? Like, it's not as if it's a veterans association for the Russian mafia or the Russian fucking army in Dublin, like, do you know what I mean?
I was wondering if it was like a intimidation thing to let someone know that they can still get to them or something.
Well, exactly, yeah.
That's exactly what I thought. So, but Macca, to be fair though, had you said yes and got in with them, you could be in Kiev now. On the Russian side.
Oh, I was like, what is it? Next to Alex Navalny or something? But yeah, so I showed my fucking integrity, I showed my fucking principles, and now I look at them all fucking scampering to get rid of all their fucking Russian connections.
Oh, yes.
Because they're all fucking neck deep, like.
I know.
And speaking of this, this is where we had an Xtraordinary Extraordinary General WilMacca, so we're under lights in Asda car park, less salubrious than some of our previous locations, but yeah, what was I going to say there? Oh yeah, the Ukraine invasion.
Yes.
So what's your take on that then? What's your hot take after 7 days? It feels like a lot longer, but it's only been 7 days.
It does feel like a lot longer.
Like this day last week was when the invasion happened, and I remember saying it felt like a 9/11 moment. Like I was fucking trembling over that quiz.
Oh, you were trembling? I wasn't trembling. No.
Well,
I have to say, I think now this is our quiz night again. This is the week on. I think today is the first day I'm thinking, yeah, Russia's going to crush them. Before this, I was thinking, you know what, the Ukrainians seem to be putting up a good fight and all, but they're just getting bombarded now. Indiscriminate.
Well, it's only been 7 days, and Russia has a very big military.
No, I know.
In fact, the only thing I would think that would stop them advancing is Putin's survival rate.
What do you mean?
Well, it's a very binary survival rate. It's either alive or dead. Like.
I do think this might all end with Putin getting falling down a lift shaft onto several bolts. I do think it might end like that. But
I don't know. I think Putin knows he's got about 6 months to live and is setting up the next century of the glorious Russian Empire. Is what I think is happening. And
why do you think he's only got 6? Why do you think he thinks he's only got 6 months to live?
This is him dying soon is my theory. I've read this in like a few places.
What is this why he's so far away from people because of COVID or whatever?
Well, that's why he's scared shitless of it. Apparently. I don't know why I've been so fucking certain about this. I know so little about Russian politics, although a lot of what I predicted has actually transpired. And I seem to be on the right side of history along with Jeremy Corbyn.
You're on the right side of history, are you? Yeah. You'd really feel the hand of history on your shoulder, do you?
I do. That's why I'm the fucking I'm a low-key fucking god, you know. I'm an egotist.
That's true. I think, I don't know, there was second peace talks today, but I think Putin went on TV saying to his people that their assault on Ukraine is going exactly as expected, which I would disagree with.
Well, they're still advancing quite
They're still advancing now.
quite aggressively. But there is a few things that trouble me about all this, right? Number one, look how quickly it took the BBC and RT and other such broadcasters to get their high profile journalists to the front line of Kiev, even though they're expecting what is supposed to be an apocalyptic force of invasion happening upon them. Who ensured this? Why are they there? Like, why did they go against the train of refugees with their big satellite vans, which are very conspicuous? And therefore, if Russia does actually make landfall onto Kiev, they're a very high-profile kidnap target or propaganda target.
Yeah.
And if they do make landfall, or what's the phrase that they use? But if they do, actually breach Kiev, are they going to start taking fucking, routes that potentially Ukrainians could have been taking to get them out on the crew? Do you know what I mean?
I would assume so.
So what the fuck is all that?
Well, what do you mean? Like, so, I mean, is there not like a history of reporters?
Well,
going
not to the
front line?
extent that the blanket wall-to-wall coverage the BBC is dedicating to this, with the only breaks in their evening programming seeming to be live football. Like the two great fucking communication things of the 21st century: wall-to-wall fucking rolling news and live football. Like this is the 2020s. That's all you get now, like.
Yeah, that's true.
So they've got fucking wall-to-wall coverage. There's that guy, he is one of their most high-profile reporters. Tractor going past there, fucking barreling down the highway.
He's motoring all right.
And yeah, so then I start to think, geez, they're very determined to make sure everyone knows every fucking minute detail of this conflict.
Yeah.
And there has been very justifiable complaints about why they're not giving the same attention to Gaza and Yemen and conflicts in Africa and everything. It does sort of start to point to, it feels like there's something, they're trying to shift geopolitics again. Now, I said I don't support an EU army. Now the facts have changed, my opinion on that has changed.
What do you think you do support a EU army now?
Not an EU army, but there should be a way for them to get all the national
Some of the armies together to make like a
and be able
collective
to have somebody that can then direct them where they need to be at a short notice in order to protect the integrity of the landmass of the EU, like not as an invasive force. But RTE and the Irish Independent and a few other places are desperate now to break the idea of Irish neutrality.
I know.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, they're desperate. Leo Varadkar was in the Dáil today saying about he stopped short of saying we should join NATO now, which I don't think they should. But he basically said, we don't want to give 3 billion to our army, but we should give near that.
3 billion being the minimum spend per capita or per GDP. Yeah. No, there seems to be, they're desperate. I don't know. It feels like they're desperate to have World War III is what it feels like. And this whole fiasco with the fucking passports was starting to make me think that the UK were blockading this because they want conscripting at some point. But now since they don't want to have
so
a
they
fucking
can't
passport,
conscript you, can they?
well, says who?
Yeah, they can try, but how are they going to do it? How are they going to enforce it?
They could arrest you for defection or whatever, or desertion.
It's fine.
What's it? Yeah, exactly. I would probably take 3 years at Her Majesty's pleasure, free room and board, like, and not be in a war.
Yeah.
Be in a fucking war zone with nuclear capabilities.
With no food half the time.
Yeah, it's three meals a day, warm bed in the evening. Time to write and think.
All right, Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali wouldn't have a fucking pinch of me. He floats like a butterfly, just sting like a wasp.
Yeah, you don't even make honey, you just sting.
Yeah, exactly. So he stings like a bee, which means he's kamikaze.
Yeah, it's true.
But,
Racist. I was going to say something. So remember you were on about the Russians invading the waters around Ireland?
Yeah.
Now they're on about, maybe they should think about getting some kind of navy To which I was like, the fishermen do the good job for us. Why do we need a navy for it?
Well, you think as a island nation, a navy would have been the priority.
Not fighter jets.
Well, no. Well, they take a while out petrol, you know. But
We can't afford petrol now. It's up to 180 or 190 down south.
exactly, and yet less than 18 months ago, oil companies were paying other companies to take the oil off them,
I know.
so they can easily fucking up production anytime they want, as they've demonstrated numerous times since the 1970s. So this whole fucking inflation is, it feels like again it's completely fucking being manipulated, because for the last 2 years people have been saving up cash and pissing away on stupid things like NFTs and how's your crypto going?
Pretty good.
And crypto and whatnot. But now that because people had a fucking nest egg of cash then, they had a bit more freedom to, for example, not put up with fucking shitty work conditions for £8 an hour. Not anymore, when you have to fucking pay 30% more on pretty much everything because corporations can't stop growing.
Well, I was looking at the stock market, and the price of wheat, corn, and some other food stuff in America has went up 30% in the last week.
Why those things?
They're commodities, so I assume that
But they'd be
it's the same
growing.
as gold. This gold and silver, they're also shooting up about. I think gold's
Let's
went
see,
up
gold goes
33
up.
or 50%.
Yeah, that's because gold is literally just a store value.
Yeah, I know.
So you
aye.
can sell it in 5 years and it's still worth
Yeah.
pretty much the same.
So
But wheat,
yeah,
it's
wheat.
grown in the United States. So,
Yeah.
So I mean, apart from the
Well, it's
the harvesters.
It's obviously the price for them to get it.
bet you're wishing you had a fucking bread standard now, eh?
No,
I
really.
bet you,
How did he kept that bread standard down with all this wheat price going up?
Well, see, then you'd have just less bread on the shelves,
All right, okay.
right?
What are we going to eat?
Hmm?
We're going to have less bread on
you
the
can
shelves.
have lots of other products as well. But like, I challenge you to go into that Asda right now and see can you find a loaf of bread for less than £1. So the bread standard was that we crux the economy on the price of a loaf of bread, which would be £1, and the reason for that is then you could value everything else around a tangible object that people understand. So would you spend 10,000 loaves of bread for a car? Can you afford that? Or is it worth, is a video game worth 60 loaves of bread? Like again, can you afford that? Or is a pint worth 5 loaves of bread? That sort of thing. But of course I was laughed out of the room. You'll be sorry now though.
Yes, he was. He was laughed out of the room, yes. I hear people have started, there's a companies like based in Switzerland now that you can actually, instead of using cash and stuff, because obviously we think cash is going to not be worth very much because of all the inflation, you can actually buy gold now and then load gold onto a card that you can take into the shop. You can also take like actual delivery of your physical gold if you want it, but it's probably it's going to be
Is it a Swiss thing?
yeah.
Okay, that's probably a tax avoidance thing.
Yeah, so like it means just so if the price of gold's going up, the more money you've got, they go and buy stuff and all. Obviously, if it goes down, it goes down. But you can take your gold as well. It saves you from if you're in Canada and they just Justin Trudeau does emergency powers and just shuts off your bank account and your whole livelihood.
Is that what he
Just
did to
decides.
truckers?
Yes.
Jesus Christ! Like that is actually fucking dictatorship.
Yes,
Fucking
he did.
isn't it?
That's what he did. Not only that, he went and checked all the routes of people that donated the money, and closed or shut their bank accounts down. One lady donated them $50 Canadian, and she worked for the government, and she got arrested and fired out of her job.
That is actually shocking,
Yeah, that's what was happening.
because that's like terrorism legislation sort
Yeah,
of
it
powers.
was
that he's
emergency powers he used. Yeah, I
using.
think
That is actually disgraceful.
I think he shut
should
it
be
down
up-
after like the second week.
But the fact he fucking initiated it,
Yeah, I know. I thought it was weird being in Canada, but there you go.
because we have a friend who is very plugged into the United States sort of debates, and it sort of annoys me that he is so plugged in, like, because it means he's just getting fucking algorithms just fucking pumping that shit into his head all day. But he was telling us about the truckers convoy, and I didn't really know what it was about. I thought it was just, okay, truckers are standing together because they don't want to have mandatory vaccines, which I was vaguely aware of. Then there's a Reddit subreddit called Our Protest, and they had put out a video that somebody had edited together all the footage of all the entire border, and just how big this actual and how widespread this was. and I was actually flabbergasted, like. And then I figured out, well, of course, the truckers have the one means of communication, mass communication between each other that's not actually constantly monitored, the ham radios.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They can actually have, like, speak to 1,000 other truckers and say, right, we're in Albuquerque or wherever they are, Alberta.
Albuquerque. They're like a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny took a wrong turn in Albuquerque. Ended up in Transylvania. Is Albuquerque not in Breaking Bad too? Is that where he is?
That does sound right, yeah.
But yeah, and then fucking Roman Abramovich.
Oh, Roman?
Yeah. As soon, like 2 days after his club that he's owned since the early days of the kleptocracy, as soon as he won the Club World Cup, as he reached the absolute peak, that's when the invasion happened. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of fucking shit I think about.
I was unaware that they won the Club World Cup.
They did, yeah. It was like this tournament. There was midweek match on, and then there was the final was on, and yeah, that for some reason that tournament's not really given much credence over here. Even though it is like you're the world champion club, like you think you'd want to be a bit more. It's like Enniskillen.
Isn't that the one that they used to leave so they couldn't, and then they couldn't play in the FA Cup?
That's what Man United did one time. But I think that was slightly different because it was a precursor to the current tournament. But it was like Enniskillen when they won the Macquarie Cup, and then they didn't really care about the Hogan Cup. Yeah, so he has now divested his interests in the club and has now said that he's prepared to sell. And it's like, well, that's not a fucking sanction. That just means he is getting his full reward for this fucking money laundering.
I think he said that he was going to sell, and any net money, so obviously like he's owned like a £1.5 billion loan by them.
Chelsea owes him money.
So after he gets that money back, if it's bought for more, he'll give that to whatever charity it was. I forget what charity he said, but now you're thinking if you're going to buy it, you're like, no, just give him £1.5 billion. I hear Conor McGregor's on about buying it.
Unless he's good pals with Putin. But again, like it's
Conor McGregor?
Sure, he was guest of honour at one of the Olympics or something.
Was he?
But sure, you know, if they're not going to fucking seize it directly off him, like the EU have been much more aggressive in actually seizing and freezing the property of these oligarchs.
Obviously, that like you know, these English people can't be letting all their backers seize their assets and all, sure.
Well, they're so compromised. They're so corrupt.
Sure, they've given them like 3 weeks to get all their houses sold and everything.
3 weeks?
They've basically got like 3 or 4 weeks to get it, whereas everybody else have just cut them off. I was surprised America cut off SWIFT so fast. They were just able to get it done so fast. But
it was Germany of all countries that was holding
Germany too, yeah.
But again, that's because they were compromised because they're so fucking dependent on their oil.
They were, and gas too, isn't it?
Yeah, the gas.
But they done was it the Nord Stream or whatever? They decided to cut that out right and fast.
So again, like that's a big fucking move. And again, this is Germany that took in the vast majority of those Syrian immigrants after Putin committed all those war crimes there, and wasn't punished for.
Germany have decided to remilitarize basically now as well. I don't really know if I trust a build-up of military in Germany.
Well, the one thing you could have said about post-war Germany is that they completely got rid of all their imperialist instincts. Like they when the Berlin Wall fell, they made a point of like sacrificing their, you know, their what do you call it? Their good things. What do you call it?
What?
Affluence. Their affluence. They sacrificed some of their affluence in order to bring East Germany up for a few years, and you know, they haven't shown any aggressive tendencies in, you know, parts of the world where they don't belong, like other countries have. And because of that, I would have said they have been the strongest economy of the last 20 years, apart from maybe Australia and China. You know, and
no, that's true.
It's depressing to hear that they're getting their military back.
Well, I think they're just doing that. I think America's always wanted them to do that.
Well, that's it. Yes,
because they don't want to have anything to do with it anymore.
See, America needs a big bad guy. America always needs a big bad guy, so it doesn't become the big bad guy by dint of its own fucking savage history. Like, you know,
I think America's wanted this to happen for a while because they don't want to look after Europe and all. You know, Germany be the strong one in Europe, and they want to. But sure.
Well, see, they've lost influence in Europe as soon as they all paid back their their
Reparation payments?
the Marshall Plan money.
Aye.
But there's a few other wee things I noted.
Sweden's not going to be neutral?
Hmm?
Sweden's not going to be... Or they sent arms to Ukraine?
Let's see, Sweden is right beside Finland, which is already
Yeah.
had spent like decades fighting off the Soviet Union, so
You know, but Sweden's a neutral country.
it's is it?
Yeah. Sweden's a neutral country.
Switzerland, are you sure? You don't mean?
No, I mean Sweden as well.
Yeah. But the pharmaceutical companies are making a fucking bonanza, as always. So going right back to when everyone was fucking stockpiling toilet roll,
Mm-hmm.
they've been on a fucking upward trajectory ever since, even when they botched the fucking vaccine rollout like AstraZeneca did. But so then they had their 3 month long vaccine program that we're all now hooked on.
Right, okay.
Then Russia invades Ukraine, so now everyone here is buying fucking nappies and
Are they?
and toiletries and whatnot to send to Ukraine as sort of relief thing. So if you go in there, which is Home Bargains, which is the budget place, poor normal working class people probably can't get any nappies, and the only place they can afford, because all these people who are trying to help are buying fucking nappies and sending them off. And of course, who manufactures the nappies? Mr. Johnson & Johnson. Do you know what I mean? It's like, when you like the connections you have to make aren't all that fucking remote. Like when you think that they're all in together. But I was speaking to some fucking madman who was actually on Putin's side yesterday. He was like,
Why? What was he saying?
Well, he did make a point that there's those wee breakaway areas, right?
Like Chechnya and stuff?
Well, Chechnya, that was way before.
That was 2014.
Chechnya? Well, that was Georgia. Georgia was 2000, I think Chechnya
No,
was just
did they
before
not? No, Russia went into Chechnya in 2014, did they not? And broke it
Crimea.
away. Crimea, that's what it is.
That's the second time you've you mixed up Chechnya and Chechnya in a previous episode of WilMacca. You were just Chechnya on the brain, eh? Did you want to go to those schools where they held up all the kids and stuff?
What, Beslan?
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but I remember that. See, that was a big thing that we've all sort of forgotten about, that Chechen rebels were always doing stuff like that to get Putin off their back.
Yeah, but that's because Putin decided to send in the poison gas into the school, killing everybody, not just like the rebels.
Oh, it's effective just getting it off the front pages, wasn't it?
Did I?
But since 2014, there's been a conflict with 14,000 deaths in those tiny little breakaway regions.
Yeah.
And they can't all have been Russian, atrocities, like, do you know what I mean? Well, he was actually heavily accusing Ukraine of causing them all. But there is that, like, where's the 14,000 deaths be attributed to? And it's the filth. Some kind of high vis must be bad news. So it's all changed utterly.
Yeah, what the world has changed.
When the UK is looking very, very lonely now outside of a major international bloc, and that means we're stuck in this fucking thing where we don't know where the fuck we stand anyway.
What do you mean?
Well, the EU is going to act as a unit in pretty much everything, and Ireland has effectively said they're following the EU thing. The UK, so who's it get behind now? Because Australia and the United States have gone away after their honeymoon together and left the UK in the hotel parking lot.
Who cares? We already know the UK's a rogue state, MAGA.
A rogue state, a dead empire.
It is, yes.
And
what's going to happen when Scotland goes independent and joins the EU?
Not yet. Yeah. And this is all, we haven't even mentioned fucking Andrew yet.
Sir Noncelot?
Yeah. He had 10,000 men.
No more men.
No.
Yes, what about Prince Andrew? I heard that you were very disappointed that they wouldn't fly the Union flag for his birthday in Belfast City Hall.
I don't remember expressing that opinion. Why? Surely that's not one of the designated days, was it?
No, I don't know if it was a designated day, but they changed it anyway because they were going to fly it then and changed it now till like the Queen's, was it second Jubilee Day or something, or so they're changing it to then now. So yes, Andrew was going to. Maybe it is his designated day. I don't know. Must be.
Well, there's something like 14 designated days where most government buildings across the UK fly the flag. Can't be Andrew's birthday, like the fucking 10th in line or whatever it is. which I believe he still is, by the way. He's still in his lineage.
He probably is,
As is Harry, who was supposed to have left the royal family, is still number 6 or 7, whatever he is.
I have no bad feelings towards Harry.
See, I wish Harry would just make the final fucking move off the, just cut the final apron string and
Has he not?
on a leash. Well, like I said, he's still in line, so no, he's not.
Well. No, maybe he's in line to hopefully. Maybe he's going to Novichok the rest of them and take the throne and
Well, you'd have to
does
properly,
it abolish it?
You'd have to properly, Uncle Scar it on on poor wee Simba, fucking Prince William.
What do you call the wee boy? George?
Yeah, George will be Simba.
George.
So William will have to be Mufasa.
Mufasa.
And then
Mufasa had more hair.
yeah, true.
Someone I read a thing today. It's funny you brought about that. Somebody was saying about was Scar. Where did he get that accent? Was he did he go to exchange student? Did he go to somewhere else to study?
I think he got an English accent. Probably where he got the Scar. He was probably sent off to the shitty boarding school. And Mufasa was sent off to proper Harrow or Westminster, Eton or somewhere.
Where was
Scar was probably just sent off to fucking Westminster or some fucking jump like that.
Where was Prince Charles sent to?
St Andrews? No,
I can't say Asda, don't
can't remember.
Some weird place.
The Sandhurst.
Sandhurst.
That's in the military. That's where William went. The military did.
Might be that one then. Yes. And you know this, Micah?
I know. Yeah, I know quite a lot. I wonder what Fig 80's doing over there. With the lights on full blast,
That's
giving
right.
us plenty of illumination for everything.
So other than the world turning into a geopolitical hot podge of miniature wars, what else have you been up to, Micah?
Well, New Ireland TV seems to be on some sort of runaway freight train.
Yes,
It has the momentum of a
congratulations,
runaway freight
Micah.
train.
60,000 views a month.
62 now.
62,000 views a month.
Mm.
Excellent.
Shit.
It's the fuzz.
It's the filth. No, that was just an ambulance. We can calm down as long as I'm still upright.
Yeah.
62,000. So it was 50,000 this day last. Well, not even this day last week, but I was thinking, fuck, there we are. Finally hit 50,000. That'll be a good one. Now if it's 60,000.
Wait, where are all your views coming from? They're not coming from like St. Petersburg or somewhere, are they?
Well, I don't know. They're from the US somewhere, but that's
The US?
Aye. Well, for a good while, right? My blog, which I've been maintaining for decades, has had massive spikes that were all coming from fucking Russian writing was all I would get.
Right.
And I was like, what the fuck's that about?
You could be a Russian cultural hero for all you know, Micah.
Well, exactly, that's what I'm thinking. I've been watching me this whole time thinking, this is our guy. This guy's going to bring the fucking socialism to the masses, finally.
Maybe Putin was trying to get to you. That's why he sent you to Dublin to be assassinated. You were going to be his replacement.
He's a useful idiot.
Maybe you were gaining so much traction in Russia that he thought he had to get rid of you.
Well, I remember people used to think I looked Russian. I used to have my hair down like this here a lot. See?
Do you kind of look Russian?
All the put the accent on, and if I will jump over the high neck, good luck. I could go into bathhouse and I speak to your neck. It's called kill.
Yes,
So I've got all that in front of me, like, so
yeah.
I'll be me and Edward Snowden in the back of that fucking van where he lives in the middle of Siberia, where that he's fucking just YouTubing Russell Brand from.
That's true. I'm trying to think what else. I haven't seen you. We went to the quiz last week. Once again.
See the quiz?
We did that.
I love the effort that they're all putting into it. Like Jerry Orfleski and the Way In, which we've seen on the channel. They've been going for 22 odd years, have they said?
Mm-hmm.
It is a very, very difficult quiz, and the other teams take it very seriously, and it gets very monotonous going to it every week and coming the same paddy last.
Coming joint last.
Even though he does actually, well, no, I'll even say that.
Yeah. So I think the best we ever done, I think we got.
Well, there was a depleted competition last year because apparently there was another COVID bug going around.
Yeah.
And now is the time. Now that March has happened, that means we're due another booster. Remember?
Oh,
so it's 3
yes.
months.
Yes.
Yeah. So
But I believe we got 5 questions wrong one week and came last.
Oh, in the whole quiz.
Yeah.
So is that the standard you're working on? But the Emma's just coming in here.
What?
Oh no, that's a camper van. When are we getting the camper van, Wilma?
Well, I was thinking about this, and there was a camper van for sale outside Newton Stewart.
For?
I don't know. There was a phone number, and I took the phone number, and I forgot to phone it.
Is the camper van gone now?
Yes, it is.
Oh, fuck's sake.
I was looking to do this Wide Atlantic Way, you know?
See, that's been done.
That's right.
We've done that.
We do the ancient east then.
Do the rivers in the middle.
The rivers.
Aye, do like the Shannon from source to thing, source to mouth. Sounds a bit weird.
Oh man.
But you know, that's an entirely different experience, and like, you know, we can go on the pleasure boats or whatever, or
the pleasure boats. Oh yes.
The barges or whatever.
We'll go on. We'll take a one of those. What do you call those cruises that are always advertised on the TV?
Viking river cruises.
Viking river cruise on the Shannon. Well, you can't actually get it. We're a Viking cruise on the Shannon.
Exactly.
Which we may or may not be doing
like one year
after my wedding.
You have to fucking ruin everything. Do everything I want to do with other people.
You'll be there too.
I even facilitate it.
You shall be there.
I'll be the second somebody else is somebody about that. But no, we did actually take a notion one year. Like, how much could we get like one of them barges and just go town to town? And the plan was to land in Dublin at Canal End on All Ireland Day, which would have been the 2012, which was Donegal's year, which we didn't know at the time. But we were looking at the prices. It was something like $5,000 for a fucking week or something. I was like, what?
It's still worth it though.
Is it really like that? That would have been my entire life savings at the most money I've ever had. Like,
that's why you need more money, Macca.
Well, exactly.
I propose that we go down to O'Neill's, buy 75 Tyrone shirts, then we go over to the Ukraine, go to the Russian front, and sell the Tyrone shirts like they're Adidas tops and such, but swap them for small items like landmines and guns that we can sell then on the black market.
Right. Do you want to sell the NFT of the Tyrone jersey?
It doesn't really work like that, Mike.
No, I know.
But what do you think? Arms dealers? This is the time to take advantage
of
such
such time
things.
to get fucking smuggling. Because the other thing, actually, that nobody else has been talking about, the Polish border, right? So when they don't let Nigerian medical students in because they're not born
black.
right, exactly. What they will do is let cats and dogs cross the EU border, which effectively makes the protocol utterly fucking redundant now, because they've already broached the integrity of the EU borders, and by taking in the EU immigrants or EU asylum seekers, the protocol has absolutely no fucking use anymore.
You can take in asylum seekers, can they not?
Well, it depends if Britain wants to let them pass through Monaghan to Pharma.
Right, yeah, so right, okay.
Time to cause a little mischief, I reckon, Your Majesty. I'm gonna have a big. What I'm gonna do as well is gonna have a big message directly to Her Majesty, telling her we're now standing forth. We're now striking forth.
Oh, you're striking forth. What are you gonna do? Are we gonna invade?
No, we're just gonna sit in the steps of the courthouse or something, just sing a few songs for a few months until they finally fuck off.
Oh, that's all we needed to do.
That's all it took the whole time. That's how Estonia got its independence from the USSR.
What?
They had a fucking singing protest. They all gathered together in the town square or something, sang for like 4 days straight.
They not get horse?
Well, I'm sure they'd sort of substitute the rolling subs or whatever.
Well, what were they singing? Barbershop?
I'm not too sure. But aye.
Well,
you know, we can do all sorts. Why isn't there a barbershop revolution?
I propose that our revolution song is "Achy Breaky Heart" by Billy Ray Cyrus.
Achy Breaky 47. Achy 47. Black 47. Yeah. So there's that, and then there's also the other thing I wanted to mention. This is getting a bit petty now, but the day after the invasion, the amount of fucking Irish politicians who went straight onto the fucking petty point scoring.
No way.
Specifically, the two that I spotted was the SDLP leader Colin Eastwood, where he said, "I don't see these anti-imperialists talking now," so I responded directly to him because I felt personally offended.
Yes.
And I pointed out to him, okay, then why doesn't the US just assassinate Putin like they've done to so many fucking democratic elected leaders?
Mm-hmm.
Then we could have saved ourselves a lot of bloodshed. The other one though is Neil Richmond, who's been going.
I did see that. Yes.
He's been going to newspapers and everything, pissing over these 4 MEPs who didn't vote to condemn Russia's gathering of troops in December. They didn't vote to condemn him. Is that what the whole thing? If Clare Daly MEP had condemned him, he would have fucking stopped. Like,
I know.
He went around for 2 or 3 days with this fucking line of attack, and it's like, in a lot of ways, I respect Neil Richmond because he's actually saying things that I think need to be said, even though it takes him a few rehearsals to actually get to where he needs to be. And then other times it just feels like he's just piping up just to be seen. Like,
yeah. There's been a lot of people saying about oh, I can't believe where's all these like very Republican politicians now appearing on Russia Today.
Well, it was
but everybody's on Russia Today.
The only TV station in the UK that was showing them was Russia Today, like PSA and Sammy Wilson are all regular contributors. Like, because I forget his name, Ashwin something or Ashwin. I can't remember his name. One of his presenters.
I know who you're on about. He's a good presenter.
Exactly. See that? Then you think, fuck, that guy's out of a job now, and he'll not get fucking employed by any other ones, even though he is actually very good and he does actually, seek to find alternative viewpoints and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But censorship must win out when there's a fucking right answer and a wrong answer to all our opinions.
I was going to tell you that. Do you know that? Do you know what the petrodollar is, Macca?
The petrodollar?
Yes. Do you know what the petrodollar is?
The amount of money a barrel of oil costs?
No. So you know the way the America's of the dollar is a global reserve currency for the world. The main reason for that is that was it Nixon or Bush? Nixon and Kissinger, wasn't it? No. Nixon sent Kissinger over to Saudi Arabia back in the day and made a deal with the Saudis that for them that they will sell their oil in dollars just. Okay?
Right.
So Kissinger made this deal, and in return that America would protect the House of Saud.
Which it has done with great accomplishment.
Which it has done, right? So, and then after that happened, because they would only accept, sell their oil in dollars, all the other countries had to get dollars in. So they used dollars. That's how it became the global reserve currency. In fact, there's actually more $100 bills in Russia than there is in America. In actual cash. But anyway, that's the petrodollar, and that's why it is. Did you know since then, there's been several people that said, oh, we should get away from using the dollar for the oil, paying for oil, and getting away from. And you know who they were? Pinochet, Mugabe. What do you call your boy in Iraq? Saddam Hussein.
Mm. And
they were all assassinated. And the last one, Mugabe himself, he actually said it should be sold in euros. And they were all killed and obviously deposed. And Vladimir Putin said it 2 years ago. And now this war started.
I'm going to need to fact check that, but assuming it's true. Number one, my first question was going to be, why the fuck do they stick to that deal, given all the fucking deals they've trolleyed in the past to other, potentially inferior races from the American point of view. The amount of times they fucked over the Native Americans, they'd say a deal and then 6 months later they just totally go back on it, and usually to the cost of tens of millions of lives. And also in the South America, and you mentioned Pinochet, and the reason I want to fact check this is because he was their puppet in Chile. They installed him, so I'd be surprised if he was the one instead of.
Maybe it wasn't.
Wouldn't have been the one in Venezuela that you're thinking of, maybe?
Maybe.
Maduro, not before Maduro.
Maybe. But yeah, and I read this, right? But then I heard about this a while ago, like a long time ago, but then I heard that this was something. I thought, oh, that was funny because Putin said that, and I was like, oh, somebody's going to add him to this list or whatever. And then then the head of the federal bank or whatever in England came out today or yesterday, and there was a meeting, and he was sitting like this here with his arms scrunched in while he was talking, and he just didn't want to give any answers. And one of the things he said was about well, actually maybe in the future we could probably have more than one global reserve currency. I was here. And he just didn't want to say it.
Trying to say it before his heart exploded from the fucking right sign or whatever.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Jerome Powell, I think,
send me where you read that, so I have a look at it, and I can put it on I can verify it on the video for them.
I will.
So 2 minutes before 60 seconds until I'm allowed to drink upon my personal.
Why? What's this again for? Not drinking before 8 o'clock?
Well, just generally trying to cut down drinking. It's fucking boring as fuck. Turns me into a wild cantankerous wanker, so nobody wants to fucking hang around me. That's why you're fucking. See, when I'm drinking, right? If I'm drinking loosely and in good company and all, I'm the fucking best crack ever. See, when I'm not, I'm fucking cranky here. But I have actually successfully cut down my drinking to like 2 nights a week. I wait till after 8 p.m. before I start.
Have you went on to our friend Jerry's philosophy? Have you used his steps or whatever?
He had initially suggested he just go completely dry for 3 months, which I thought, no, it's gonna not. Like I did try it for like 2 weeks in January, and it was just too fucking miserable. And plus it was January, and plus everyone was still fucking COVIDed up and all the fuck. So I thought, fuck this, I'm gonna drink. I would. I don't know. If I could just be better crack when I was drinking, when I wasn't drinking. It'd be good, like, but I can't fucking do it. I can't access those fucking endorphins without some sort of stimulant.
I think you can. Like, it's just we never go anywhere and do anything.
No, but like the only way, I don't know. The only way you're more quick-witted or something, you take on riskier shots of pool and stuff like that. There, when you're three pints in, like if you could just fucking find that road.
I don't. I just do the same.
All right.
Oh, I haven't played pool. Now, pool is one thing I've not played in about 2 years.
Well, yeah.
I don't know where you play it here, do you?
Well, I was going to ask somebody, is the Bridge pool hall still open? Because I can't think of any other billiards place in the town, because the 147's gone and the coaches, I think, gone.
Is there a pool in the Strains?
There is one 6-foot pool table now.
There's one in, maybe there's two in that place. Molly's Yard, is it? Or at Strathroy up there, you know.
That's a petrol station and a restaurant now.
Is there
only 1 wee corner is the Glee pub?
Yeah, is that there's a pool table in there?
No, it's too small for a pool table. Like that's
at the side door, is there? How about you walked in the pool table there? It doesn't matter really.
Oh well, maybe actually, but sure.
Yeah. So you know what? I haven't done this year. Haven't hardly seen a single Tyrone match. I think I might have seen the first one in the league.
Yeah, but I was there. Oh, the league? No, that wasn't.
Oh, the league. Yeah, we went to see the Mechanic Cup, Macca, because you jinxed it. You're never going away again.
Nobody gives a shit about the Mechanic Cup. It's not even going to be a competition.
Sure, with All Ireland's not a competition anymore.
Well, I was going to say, they've changed all their fucking rules now.
Every county in Ireland doesn't have a chance to win Sam Maguire.
Well, Antrim, let's say Antrim goes out in the preliminary round of Ulster. Let's say they're playing the preliminary round of Ulster. Are they not on a path to Sam Maguire at that point?
No idea.
But when are these rules coming in? These fucking idiotic rules.
Are they not? What rules? The league rules and stuff?
Well, they've changed the whole format of the championship.
Yeah, they changed the whole format, so like the league, is it Division 4 or whatever, or straight into like this Titling Cup or whatever?
Well, if they get to the provincial final, they get...
What's the chances of Division 14 getting the provincial final?
Cork puts Kerry out in the first round, and then... Sure, then you're asking what's the chance of them fucking winning an All-Ireland semi-final?
I don't see the issue. Why didn't they just took away the Mechanic Cups, take away them first ones, replace those with Ulster Championships, provincial championships at the start of the year instead of the Mechanic Cups and all? Exact same thing, really. Well, it's the same thing, except there's no schools in it.
They've taken the schools, they've taken the universities away anyway.
So they could have just had that at the start of the year, have that as, just rename that to, like, say the Ulster Championship, the Leinster Championship or whatever. Yeah, the winners of that there, they win that. Then they have the league, play out the league as usual, and then when it goes into the championship, they just make it like the Champions League, and the winners of the provincial championships and the winners that top the leagues are all seeded, and we've got like 4 groups of 8 teams in each one, and sure that means each team gets to play 3 matches or more.
I reckon Sky's had a big influence into the whole fucking thing of changing this whole Super 8s thing. I bet you that was from a meeting room in Sky.
Yeah, the Super 8s is absolutely awful.
Like I reckon Sky, because they've lost the exclusivity of Premier League soccer and Champions League and everything, they think that maybe now they've got a sport that could potentially be, a major European sport, potentially, if it's marketed right. They've got the brands in place already, so Kerry, Cork, Dublin, Mayo, Tyrone and all. But the structure.
Say Tyrone last.
See the best of last.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
but the structures are just not fucking feasible for them. So I reckon because what happens, right? So it's supposed to be, if I'm a member of a club at Pierce's and I have a suggestion, I can bring it to my club secretary, they will vote on it in their club meeting. They'll bring it to Antrim. If Antrim likes the idea, they will then bring it to
the Ulster Council.
And if they like the idea, they'll bring it to the All-Ireland Council. But what happens is that the delegates who go representing the counties apparently don't have to vote for what the county voted for.
Yeah,
they can have their minds changed on the day.
Yeah.
Which is fucking so open to, here, go on in here, we'll have a wee meeting here. Now, how's that christening,
Nice. I know, it's true.
And, for the sake of a few fucking brown envelopes, you can probably put in whatever you want, and Sky would have the money to do that.
But at the same time, like, do they? I don't think they do.
Do Sky have the money?
No.
Well,
do the people change their minds? I don't really think they do.
Well, we don't see, it's all secret balloted, so we don't see what they're voting for, so we can't, we can't, you can't say, oh, Cavan are holding this up because Cavan's such and such and they don't like whatever. You can't even say that, like, because you don't know which way Cavan's delegate voted, like.
They have to have, what is it, over like 70% as well to change rules or something, isn't it?
It has to be over, 60 maybe. I don't think it's 70. 70 seems a bit extreme.
I thought it was pretty extreme though. But
well, I don't know, but yeah, it's like, why can it not just be fucking transparent and then you have no real complaints apart from, okay, I don't like the idea.
Yeah, but one good thing's coming out of it. Dublin are going to get less money, Macca.
Why? Because they're in Division 2?
Not yet. Not yet.
All they have to do is lose to Omagh, lose to Tyrone and Omagh.
Is that all happens to happen?
Well, I think they got 2 matches after that. But then it seems, see, the league's too short almost because they still can escape even though they've lost more than half their matches now. But yeah. I
remember when we had our wee run in Division 2, we done quite well in the Championship that year.
That was when they got to 2018 All-Ireland. They were in Division 2, isn't that right?
No, they weren't, were they?
I think they were. I think they got promoted this year.
Were they, maybe?
That's it, yeah. And how about your Liverpool, you
Liverpool, you know what? Sure, hard to even get to see them. I saw them better than last night.
Well, I watched a bit of that League Cup final. I swear to fuck, VAR has taken away all the competitive integrity of that fucking sport now.
What has?
VAR. I swear to fuck, they're deciding what the result's going to be.
Why?
Or they're making sure that Man City won't fucking lose because somebody fucking handles the ball in the penalty area and it's not given, and the whole fucking country can see it.
Yeah, I don't understand that one. That why it was not given.
Well, every
that's not
team in the
VAR.
country.
That's the referees. That's the English referees for you because they're they're subpar at everything they ever done.
But it has to be VAR that makes this decision, like.
But the referee looks at the VAR.
Yeah, but he's taking his instruction from.
No, but all the English referees that are ahead of VAR.
But that's what I'm saying, like, it's because every fucking team in England has the exact same story as when they play one of the big four or big six, whatever. They get all these fucking ridiculous decisions against them.
Are they ridiculous?
Well, there was one Aston Villa one a couple of weeks ago where a goal went in, seemed legitimate, and they ruled it off because Edison Cavani had fallen over or ran into somebody and fell over in the free kick. So with a free kick coming in and they headed it to the back post, there was goal. At first I thought they were checking to see if the player was offside. It was quite close, so I thought, okay, they're just making sure. And then, oh no, it's because Cavani was bundled over there. He ran into the boy. The boy was literally standing in his one spot.
Yeah, I can remember that.
And I was like, hang on a second, are you fucking going to give this for every fucking...
I know, it is ridiculous.
But yeah, so, people are starting to question whether there's any integrity to the results of this fucking sport, like, and it is starting to get into people, like, that's why so much of the the old football market is now watches UFC and MMA and they don't give a flying fuck about football anymore because it's been so fucking streamlined. It's been lifted out of the working classes of England, and it's now this upper middle class pursuit that costs you £80 a ticket to go see a match.
Then tell me why rugby reunion is so popular then, Macca?
Well, it's not under a bit below international level.
I'm not a fan of international level rugby anymore. I used to like it in the 90s when Ireland had it was more like ordinary people who were playing it, but now it's just like it is a bit sanitary. It's like.
Are you saying because they didn't look like rugby players look now in terms of body shape?
Yeah, they're just.
They look like matchstick men.
It wasn't just no. It's not even much. Like because some of them boys are massive too. Like, but it just I don't know. There was something just better. I mean, it's just it's so romantic about it, you know.
You're getting out. I bet you can't even remember where you were in the 1991 World Cup against Australia.
Yeah,
Exactly,
I was
'cause I do.
6.
Yeah, well, I fucking remember.
Where were you?
I was watching TV, man. He doesn't fucking remember or care. I can't remember. But
No, but you know what I mean. It's like, you know, when it gets to like a certain level of athleticism, where people like, you know, they've basically trained their whole lives just to do it, and it's just like very monotonous and very patterny, and there's no real flair left in there anymore.
see, I would disagree. I'd say rugby is now more. It's now more of a game that's in your head because of all that. So players like Finn Russell, who plays for Scotland, he's fucking me. He's a maverick.
Is that the?
He's
No, is that?
Hard
No.
nails cunts.
Who was that new fella played for Ireland last day?
I don't know who you're saying.
He scored like 2 tries.
I didn't actually watch the Italian match because I was playing football for Jerry.
As I know, which I was thinking about the whole day. How did he do? This is
Scored a
the,
point.
This is the Pierces versus the Pierces.
Pierce is squared. Or, well, what would be the inverse of squared? Because it's Pierces versus Pierces, not Pierces x Pierces.
True. 1. You scored a point. Where are you playing up front?
Well, I didn't score a point. We scored a point.
What? I thought your team scored a point.
It was fucking it was pretty bad. Like
You know what? I was sitting there all day going, "Oh, what's that? What's that? They go play.
you could have went and chatted to Anne-Marie, you know.
I kind of, you know what? I really like. I'm just too fat, man.
Well, so am I, and I hadn't done any exercise the whole lockdown, so I was totally out of my. And the fact they had to call me in as well, because I was actually going to bring some cameras. And
Was there
just
many
practice,
there?
like supporters or
No, like players.
no? They only had 13 with them, so I had to bring.
All right, okay.
Well, they had 16, but 2 of them were goalies, and one of them was Jerry, he's the manager. Like so, so I brought my brother Sean, and he actually played pretty well when he came on the second half.
Where did you all play, or where did you play up front, midfield?
The assistant manager, who I'd never met before, goes, "You're straight in, full forward." So I was, "Oh shit, okay." So I went on with trying to put my gloves on. They fucking passed the ball to me, and I still only had one glove in my hand. Like I was still holding the glove on my
You just
hand.
not smack her over the bar for a set?
Well, I hadn't fucking warmed up or anything. Like. So what I thought I'd do is get the ball past this player, go around this player I'm with, and then just nice wee 1-2 back to the boy, give it to me. But he didn't.
You're on.
No, because he was probably fucking wrecked. Because we weren't able to get the ball past the fucking halfway line. Like,
Are you serious?
This is one of the first opportunities in the second half we'd done it, and so he hadn't ran on, so it was a fucking nice wee easy pick up for the sweeper. Like, I was, oh, for fuck's sake, that's my first. Every time I fucking come on as a sub, the first thing I do is always a fucking fuck up, and then I have to rebuild my game from a point of minus.
Oh, you have to rebuild your game, okay.
Yeah.
After all those lessons I gave you at the Lovers Retreat,
You know.
unbelievable.
Well, see,
Unbelievable.
the problem, my problem with Gaelic football has been that all my practice and training was usually on my own. So I was great at fucking, soloing and dummying around it, nobody being there. But as soon as somebody else challenged me for the ball, like, I suddenly realised how much extra effort you require, and I'd be fucking wrecked after, like, going down to pick up a ball because there's somebody else trying to go for it as well.
I get a wee bit of tunnel vision sometimes, Just that kind of thing. Sometimes, not all the time. But
That's just you being in a massage chair because you're injured.
if I knew
No wonder.
if you were all that unfit, maybe I would have went. No, I
Yeah,
couldn't.
but Finland had a very good team. Well,
Oh,
they had a very
yeah.
good young team.
What age were you playing the underage kids at the end of?
Well,
And you
no,
couldn't get the ball off them?
they brought in an underage team all the way through, and now they're so there's one of the boys was Tyrone minor, and then the
Just
rest.
take him out.
Well, I didn't realise this. He was about fucking 2'5" or something.
You should be like, boom. Right now, first two. Can't send a man off 2 minutes after coming on, Mike.
Actually, he was a fucking Newton Stewart. Newton Stewart been trying to fucking pull for him off it.
really?
Tool.
Nice. Nice.
What was your boy's name? McGillian.
All right. Okay.
And then the rest of the team was like 21 or something. And as I said, all our major players weren't able to go for various reasons. So
All right. Okay. Well, that's quite the
it's quite,
embarrassing story.
yeah.
1 point. What did they score?
Well, I lost count after fucking. I think it was 2:14 or something.
That's not bad. 2:14 is not bad.
It was extremely windy.
That's true. I mean, like, they could have scored more goals then.
But that was it. We couldn't get past. Like they were swarming. Their defence was all swarming, so we couldn't get the ball out past the halfway line. Even though kick-outs in the ring, you get the kick out, and then the boy would get stuck into fucking 3 tackles and would lose the ball, and they just go back up and have another go. Like,
Not take the mark.
well, the referee wasn't playing marks for any of the last 20 years of rules.
Who was the referee?
I don't know. Fitna must have picked them up or something. But then they also had the fucking temerity of taking out their fucking kitchen from their, reasonably state-of-the-art facilities. They removed their kitchen the day before they played us, so we couldn't have fucking tea and sandwiches after the match. Like, see that
terrible.
fucking anti-East of the band fucking discrimination
Did
right
you go
there.
out and fit in or anything, or?
No, sure, it was Sunday afternoon. Like, they all went back up home, and there was a christening. The reason half of them weren't there is because there was a christening on that day as well.
Alright, okay.
So they all went back up to Belfast to join that. So yeah.
Very good, Macca. So, you've went from Ukraine to being an absolute terror on the GA field.
Yeah.
So
Tara, you mean?
So what you're telling me is that you're going to make county next year because you just haven't reached that level of fitness necessary.
I will be 20-time All-Star for Moscow GA.
Here, Moscow GA might be a real thing.
It probably is.
Yeah.
But Putin's Gazprom sponsored Moscow GA.
That's right. Yeah. I wouldn't mind. Right, so we'll see how well this Lent goes. If I'm able to lose the several stone, we'll go back to the football, Maga. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm up with the horses these days.
That's right. How's your horse riding going?
Well, I got out into the field this time. Not a field. It's the forest. Hacking it's called. But it was actually much more enjoyable because I was getting a bit bored going around the arena. And the horse just won't fucking cooperate. He'll not get up past the fucking basic trot. Like the horse is obviously indentured servant at this point. Like he knows when he can and can't get away with. But as soon as he got outdoors, he started fucking
galloping.
Nearly like I was having to fucking hold him. And I actually wanted to see what it'd be like to be on a galloping horse, like. But it was uphill and downhill, and you duck under trees and stuff. And so yeah, I was happy with that.
That was good, eh? That was good.
And I do actually want to have. Now it makes me want to think. Fuck it.
You want to own a horse?
I do actually want to own a horse. Like, well, I took a notion of it and thought about it for about 20 seconds. I really want to own a horse. But I was thinking, like, you can put a horse into a stable and you feed it straw or whatever, and you take it out for a ride 20 minutes a day, an hour a day. Is there any much more than that apart from cleaning out the shit?
No, you have to pay for it. You get nuts and all too.
Well, I mean, you have to purchase the horse.
Yeah.
Just go down to Limerick and pick one up.
Well, you go down to Ballinsloe. Good Ballinsloe Horse Festival.
Yeah, but then you actually pay for it.
What?
I'm saying just go down to one of the wild horses around Limerick car parks and stuff.
That's true, yeah. Well, we had a pony, didn't we? An old time pony, black and white, and brown.
Like, is that a fiver? Ponies in your pocket?
Pony. We had one of those for Shannon. It wouldn't be a big horse. I think you were on a big, massive, like, steed horse.
Well, it wasn't massive, but there's a small one they've been giving me. Who's got the reason they were putting me onto that one is because he's got a different rhythm the way he runs, or she, whatever it is. Whereas the slightly bigger horse, which is the one I was on the other day, it's not steadier. He's just stronger, I suppose. But then, like, the instructor, she brought out this big fucking beautiful, like, white horse, like Tyranno, fucking, gleaming almost, and it was actually even bigger again. And the first time I got onto the horse,
It's hard to get on. You have a wee step ladder.
well, I'm using the wee step, which I feel is a bit of a cheat, like, after this amount of time. But the first time I got up on his back, it's like, fuck, you're actually quite a bit off the ground here. Like,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And yeah, see, I've heard ordeals with horses too, but now I'm fucking.
Yeah, it's like that. That's like that time you decided to vote for Brexit because the horse kicked you in the head.
I didn't decide to vote for Brexit. It just sort of happened. No. Instinctively, I knew it would help our cause. No.
What about any weapons training?
So I got in touch. Yeah, so I went to the gun shop. Fishing tackle.
The gun shop.
The gun store.
What's fishing tackle? Campsite. Okay.
And because they have shooting along the top, and I goes, here, I don't know if you'd be able to help me. Do you know where I could get gun lessons or shooting lessons? He goes, well, you don't really need them. And I was actually flabbergasted. You don't need. You can just go to the police and apply for a guns weapon, and as long as they can't find any
guns weapon
or whatever it's called, or no, sorry, guns license or a weapons license, whatever it's called, anyway.
Yeah.
And assume as long as you don't have a criminal record, they can't really stop you just picking up a fucking live shotgun or live. Well, handguns are banned in the UK, so you can't get a handgun.
Yeah, so you get like a rifle?
Well, could you also get an AK-47 then?
No, I don't think so. I don't
But
think
you don't
you're
need
allowed
fucking training. You think?
semi-automatic weapons, I wouldn't think.
Well, you would think. You think you'd need fucking training before they give you a license. Like.
No, I wouldn't think so. But
You're handling a fucking high-powered projectile weapon, like that a lot of people have never experienced before, except seeing them fucking, these really bad representations on Hollywood movies, where you shoot like that there, it'll kill somebody instantly, and it'll be a little trickle of blood, which is obviously totally not what happens when you shoot somebody. If you shoot somebody in the chest, they're probably going to survive, but they'll be heaving and the blood will be pissing everywhere, and they'll generally be making a nuisance of themselves.
they'll be making a nuisance of themselves.
They'll not be sitting nice and quiet, so you can make a nice quip about how they'll print anything these days in Mr. Bond.
Shot to the heart.
And I'm to blame. But it's like I was absolutely flabbergasted by that. But so then I found another company.
I'm not too flabbergasted by that, because like at the same time you have to think who's getting it. Probably just like farmers and
Bank robbers.
maybe a few hunters. Yeah, but they're registered weapons, aren't they? Well, they're licensed. Each of the guns licensed. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just thought, especially in this 6 counties, there'll be a lot more stringent about who they allow to have, projectile firearms. But I went to another company who does, it appears to be that they train ex-servicemen to become mercenaries or to become like private security.
Right. Okay.
And they offer things like weapons training and martial arts and advanced driving, all of which are things I wanted to actually. It's things I put on the application for this funding that I have to spend at some point in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
But they haven't returned to me. They haven't got back to me.
Right. Okay.
And it's like this has been constant. I've been through like fucking 7 or 8 companies and they don't get back to me. And it's like, well, does nobody want this fucking money? Because I don't want to have to give it back. I would actually have liked to be able to say I've got these skills under my belt. Because if I have to give the money back, I'll not be able to afford to do this thing.
I'm under the impression that I'm going to see you on the Russian lines in Ukraine on a giant white steed with a semi-automatic weapon rushing in towards Kiev.
And just in a tribute to Putin, I shall have my top off.
You play some like disco, gay nightclub disco music in the background as well.
Exactly. Anyway, on that note, new Ireland TV these days, what can you find, Wilbur? I chat with Dublin sculptor Fiona Ward.
Yes.
She has a current exhibition happening. It may have finished by the time you watch
Still
this.
Art Centre?
Exactly, yeah. So
Yes.
it's actually finishing this week, I believe, so it'll probably be finished before you see this. But there's also coming up an interview with a chat with Cathy Dunphy, who is now working in Omagh to bring Omagh up into more self-sustaining environmentalism through communities growing their own food and whatnot.
Alright, okay.
If you want to get involved with that, email cathy.tuneup@gmail.com. The production output has been quite slow since before Christmas. Did you see the Way in Darts? We mentioned that.
Yeah, the Way in Darts was good. I saw that. Way in, great venue. That's where we do the quiz.
That's where we're going imminently. Take this truth off me. But yeah, so stay tuned to New Ireland TV and UTV station for a new
Ireland.